So we couldn't have a presentation without a legal disclaimer, and this is our legal disclaimer, but in a nutshell, if we're giving people education, and this is an education session, we're pretty much allowed to share our insights and opinions in an uncensored, open way. Once we delve or cross the line into financial advice, the rules change, it's regulated. But the fact that we're sticking with education gives us more freedom to share keen insights, and which is our intention for this call. All right, so go to the next slide, please. If you've been on a previous podcast, this will look familiar. And we intentionally repeat this because we think it's so fundamental to wealth management. And real estate is a portion of many people's investment efforts. So when we think of private wealth, we think of a four-legged stool, which is the graph on the left-hand side. So what is your private wealth? It's your net worth, which includes your investable assets and your non-investable assets. And for many people, their largest non-investable asset is their primary residence. And it also includes your investable assets. That could be your 401k, your brokerage accounts, or whatever you're doing with your investable assets. And all those things should and being embellished and encompassed by trust and estate planning, tax planning. And I'm a former CPA, but I can promise you, it doesn't take magic to fill out a tax return. It definitely takes expertise and science to do tax planning. And done right, tax planning can dramatically reduce your tax burden. And if you do it before the taxable event, you save money. You do it after your taxable event, your degrees of freedom are limited. There's not much you can do about it. So we really emphasize tax planning as a feature of our private wealth program. And lastly, it's insurance. And in the insurance space, there's many different types of insurance, but we like, for investment purposes, something called private placement life insurance. And in a nutshell, it gives you the ability to have another tax-deferred vehicle in addition to your Roth or your 401k, your IRAs. So it's another way to have investable assets that don't have a tax burden put on them. So that's what we do. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, pure and simple, your investment allocation is how you crack the case of optimizing your investments for wealth management purposes. Things like stock selection, I call it the Jim Cramer phenomenon of the hot stock of the day, etc. Yeah, that's fun, it's entertaining, but it doesn't create wealth. It's a waste of time. Now, if you quickly look at the slide on the right, this shows you what I call the efficient frontier, where our recommended allocation has a higher return than a pure equity portfolio, less risk than a 100% fixed income portfolio. So you want to be in that top left-hand quartile where you have the highest return, the least risk. So those are solutions that we advocate. It's a solution that I deployed for the partners of McKinsey & Company when I ran the global private wealth practice for McKinsey. And it's a service that we offer to this day because we believe in it so strongly, and we find that most people don't get this right. So if it's something you'd like to be exposed to, we do this as, frankly, as a way to give back because we believe in it so strongly. So if it's something that you'd like to partake in, reach out to us and we'll schedule a time to go through this with you. Budget about an hour, and I promise you, you'll leave much more empowered than when you started.